I'm going to touch your hand when I say this. If you don't have the money, you going to bet your life on that? Well, if you don't love your kid with all your heart, listen to me. If you're transferring, checking and saving and saving and checking. I saw motherhood as a burden. And I've talked about that. I don't want to how to say it like that, but greetings and welcome back to my channel, party people. Happy New Year. My name is Tenicka. You know, I just come in here, I get dressed, and I talk about whatever is on my mind. And one of the things I really want to talk about today is some of the uncomfortable truths about motherhood that no one tells you about. Now, if you're new here, you should know that I have one little baby. Okay, she's not little at all. Okay, but I never really talked about motherhood. I would say until she turned around 15, I didn't really talk about my child. I really didn't talk about motherhood at all. Outside of talking to my personal friends, I would like feature my daughter, you know, a few times a year, but motherhood was a deeply personal journey. And now that she is in college and I feel like so much has gone well, I want to talk about some of the uncomfortable truths around motherhood. I also grew up in a family full of kids, and the women around me, in all transparency, I love the women around me, but I saw motherhood as a burden. And I've talked about that so many times. I'm just using my Shiseido, but I talked about that so many times. I saw motherhood growing up as a deep burden to women. I didn't see men struggling the way that I saw women. I saw men and children as a burden, okay? And I was not really willing to believe differently until it was my opportunity. And even then, it was the biggest risk of my life, right? I came from a low-income community. I was already putting myself in multi-generational harm, right? Because by every measure, I could have faltered, dropped out of school, not going to grad school, stayed in the community I was in, etc. But so that is my story, and you can go back and look at some of my videos. I feel like I talk about my daughter, my little babes, in a lot of ways. But in today's video, I really want to just talk about some of the things, yes, I wish someone would have told me, but I probably wouldn't have believed them. And also, I just want to be honest about motherhood. Can we be honest? Can we be honest about motherhood? Okay, everybody's going around saying, I love my kid. They're the best thing that ever happened to me. They changed my life. They're this, they're that. They're also very expensive. They also take a lot of your time. They also come in, rearrange, disrupt, and in a lot of ways destroy your life. And we just have to be honest. Like, we just have to be honest. And I think so many people out there, because they, you know, some of them have come from challenging motherhood, or like challenging mothers who weren't necessarily the best mothers to them. It's a taboo topic. And so they're like, well, if you don't love your kid with all your heart, if you're not dying on the sword for your kid, you don't need to be a mother. I'm going to live and die for my kid. And that. Can we have an honest conversation? Can we? Let's do it. First of all, I need to put these brows on. I'm using my NYX brow pencil. I use this eyebrow pencil all the time. Okay, at least I have some brows on while I say this, you know. My brows are a little bit kooky and crazy and all over the place. I need to go in with my Hourglass concealer. I'm going to try to go in with the shade Teak. I hope this is dark enough. Oh my God, I feel like it dried out a little bit. Oh, I messed up. Oh gosh, okay. First things first, when it comes to motherhood, you do not need to be a mother. Hello? Like, we really need to have this conversation. When I was coming up, there wasn't an imagination around like the idea that women could be fulfilled and happy and nurtured if they were not mothers. Yes, there were women who did not have children. Some of them were not able to have children. Some of them decided because of circumstances, right? Like they wanted to be a mother a very specific way that I respect. They want to be a mother with money. They wanted to be a mother with very specific kind of partner, and because they could not have it that way, they decided with agency that they did not want to be a mother. But when I was growing up, I did not see a lot of that. I just didn't see that. Motherhood is just what you did. It was just like breathing. It was just like the weather. Let me move my mirror over here, girl. Motherhood was just a part of who you were as a person, right? It just was who you were as a young girl, a woman. You were supposed to dream about motherhood, just like you were supposed to dream these deeply like heteronormative things, like you're supposed to have a partner. You're supposed to, go off and buy a house. It's like a part of the American dream and a part of this like idea of who you are supposed to be. It's deeply rooted in religion as well, so we can't be dismissive of that. I have somewhere to be, and it really doesn't call for like a glittery eyelid, but I'm gonna sneak one in here anyway. I just wish there were more people being honest and telling women like, you do not have to be a mother. And I think it has to start very, very young, because there is a culture of like, I will be a mother one day, and if I am not a mother, then something is wrong with me, with no real conversation around how to be a good mother, how to have a good sense of self, how to raise like kids the way that you want to raise kids, right? Like there's no conversation around supporting kids, how to be better community members. There's no conversation around that, but the expectation automatically is that a woman should be a mother. And I'm just like, says who, right? Like I want to make sure that my daughter knows that she does not, if that is not her desire, to be a mother. I'm just putting, I think this is from ColourPop. This is so old, and I found this while I was cleaning up. The shade is called Oh Wow, and I'm just putting that on my eyelid. Also, y'all be asking me where I get these eye patches. Girl, these are topicals, and I know I'm perpetually online, so in my mind, everybody has these, so I'm like, why are the people asking me? And people are like, do they work? And listen, should you spend your last $20 on eye patches? No. Thinking they're going to change your life? No. I don't care what brand. So if that's all you got, don't spend it. But if you're like me and you just like to, partake in all the things, then I say go for it. And they work for me. I have perpetually dark under eyes. It is hereditary. One of my eyes is darker than the other because it has filler underneath, because one of my eyes was less full than the other. So in full transparency, okay, so I know somebody tried to shade me and said when I take the eye patches off, my under eyes are still dark. You ate that, but also that's hereditary. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, while you watching, let's get back to it. Another thing that is an uncomfortable truth that people do not talk about is it is relentless. Motherhood is absolutely relentless. It's not just hard. It is relentless. Like, it doesn't give up, right? Like, the depth and breadth of hard cannot even begin to describe the situation, right? Like, for example, when your child is a toddler, you can like physically not even go to the bathroom half the time because they are on your body, right? And if you are a person that doesn't like physical touch, you're going to suffer. I love physical touch, so I'm fine. I don't like physical touch when I'm on the bathroom toilet. But like, right, like these babies, they don't know the rules of the road, right? Like they don't know your boundaries. They're meeting you for the very first time, and you are all they know, right? And so like motherhood can be so relentless, right? Like imagine having a paper, or you have a meeting for work, or you're transitioning jobs, or you had a rough day at work, and then you come home and this baby has a fever, you have to go to the emergency room, and you still gotta be in the meeting the next day, right? Like if you think your life is difficult without kids, imagine that times 10. So whatever you are going through, just imagine that. And I know, like, you think, oh, but it's just so rewarding, and it's this and it's that, and it's like, ma'am, it can be rewarding. And I can talk about the ways that it can be rewarding and you can set yourself up for success. But like, you are going to struggle. It is just a physically, mentally, emotionally taxing experience. And people just say, oh, motherhood is hard. It's the hardest job you ever have, but I love it. And in your mind, you're thinking, okay, I've done hard before, baby. No. No. Have you ever had a mean boss who was discriminating against you, who kept you in the office till 7 and 8 p.m., then you had to come home and do work and answer emails, and you got a crying, screaming, sick baby on your body, and you hot, and then, right, and then you forgot to pay this bill, and then you got this, like, that is what's happening. And it's happening to you every single day of your life. And I just think people need to be honest about that reality, right? Like, it is very difficult to like get up, enjoy your life, enjoy yourself, enjoy your body, enjoy your makeup, your physical appearance. Like, you really have to recognize that it is not just, oh, it's hard. No, ma'am. Like, no, ma'am. Learning to ski is hard. This is not skiing. This is skiing with your life. Hello? Another thing that no one tells you about motherhood, you both need community and you will struggle trying to like retain it. Like, so many people will say, all you need is community. Make sure you have your village. Like, it does take a village to raise a child. But this idea that all of a sudden every single person in your life is going to be happy for you, they're going to have the time, that they're even equipped to support you, that you will then like trust them with your child. It's one thing to have a roommate that you had in college or a roommate in your early 20s, and now you're in your 30s and you're like, oh, that's like a sister to me. You never seen her manage a child. You might have seen her on her worst nights getting drunk and doing this and doing that, but have you ever seen her with a child? And yeah, you might trust her with your life, but do you trust her with your child's life? Like, it just, like, there are so many things that are going to happen in your brain and you're going to be like, hold on. Like, the community I thought was going to be there for me is not going to be there for me. And some of that is self-selected, but like, motherhood is a deeply isolating experience. It is deeply isolating in ways that you can't even like describe. Even amongst other mothers, there are some women, they are so traumatized by their motherhood journey that they close up, they don't talk about it, and they're like, you know, this is a rite of passage. They want you to go through what they went through, and right, and like they don't necessarily know how to be there. Now, there are some women in your life who, once they become mothers, they will like, you know, they will have a lot more grace and energy and time and experience for you, but it can be really isolating. It can be really unintentionally isolating. Like, right, like you don't recognize you're isolating yourself. You don't recognize that people have isolated you. They will just decide that you need alone time. And the last thing you need is more alone time. Right? I mean, alone with yourself and your thoughts, not alone with the baby or, right, like if you have a small family, like with your family, right? Like, you want to be out. You want to be invited to the thing. But a lot of people, they just don't recognize that. So I always tell people who would be mothers or, right, like, think about what you are going to need from people. And it would be nice to say to them, like, what you need. I didn't have this agency. I was young. My friends did not have the capacity or capability to be there for me. My mom was there as much as she could, my sister, and even that didn't necessarily feel like enough. But, like, ask people, you know, tell people, try to be honest with people, right? Like, speak these things and let people know that they are a part of your community, right? And, like, try to shore up as much as you can, but you should fully expect that if you make a list of all the people you believe that will be in your community, you should fully expect that half those people will not be around. Not because they don't want to, not because they're hating. A lot of times they just don't know how to help. Like, having a child is so disruptive to your life, and it is disruptive to your friends' life. People literally don't know what to do. Honest to God truth. They really don't. Now, I'm going to say this, and I can hold your hand, You can hold my hand. We can do this however way you want to do it. Okay? But let me just say this. In all things, you're going to need money. Hello. Like, there's just no way around it. In this thing called motherhood, you need the coins. You have to have the coins. If you don't have the money, pack it up and go. Let me tell you something. Let me spray my brush before I really get into it and say what I really want to say. If you do not have the money for your rent and your bills and for you to travel and for you to do the things that you want to do not add a baby to that situation. I don't care what your religion tells you, you will suffer and you will make that baby's life miserable. You will make that baby's life miserable. No, there is nobody that's coming to save you. There is nobody that's going to come help you. There is no way. Like, you have to fully expect that this is the best that it's going to be right here and right now. And I know we all have faith that it's going to be better and this, that. But I have seen many of women go down. Many of women go down believing that they didn't necessarily need to have every single resource at their disposal on day one. You need all of it on day one. You need it on day one. And if you don't have it on day two, you have to make sure you are working towards it in those first years, because it will dictate every single decision that you make. I'm not saying you have to be wealthy. I'm not saying that you have to be a billionaire. I'm not even saying you have to be a millionaire, especially based on where you live. But I am saying, why would you, with full agency over your own body and autonomy over your own body and agency over your life and your life outcomes, and you do not like poverty? Now, if you like poverty, that's your business, and you can go ahead and click off this video because this video is not for you. But if you're one of the dolls that understands systemic poverty is not a personal failing, but it is a reality and a condition, and you cannot guarantee that you can get yourself out of it, and you're living with the effects and burden of poverty yourself, please God, on this earth, why would you then bring a kid into that situation? Hello? I'm not understanding that. I'm not understanding that. Why would you bring a kid into... there's no other way for me to say it without sounding like respectability politics, somebody's great auntie. Right? don't want to... I can't really don't want to how to say it like that, but how else do you want me to say it? If you can help it. Do you understand? You can't predict the future. You can start off on a good footing and you can lose it all. There are terrible circumstances that happen to people all the time. As long as you have a hustler mentality, you can figure out ways to pick up the pieces and live comfortably. If you know how to put right, like nothing in this life is guaranteed, right? So I'm not saying, I started off on a good footing and this, that. But, there's a reason why a lot of first-generation immigrants to the United States are telling their kids not to pursue teaching and social work and comms. I was a comms major degrees because they don't have the stability as, they don't have as much stability as medicine and engineering and even the legal profession, right? I'm not saying these things guarantee anybody a solidly upper-class lifestyle or even a middle-class lifestyle. But if you're barely able to feed yourself, if you're transferring, checking and saving and checking just to get a meal at the... Girl, you don't have any business having a baby. You have no business having a baby. Your motherhood journey is going to be one of the most difficult journeys of your life. If you are not able to provide not just basic care for your child, But it comes down to even like the grand decisions that seem like small decisions on a daily basis. Let me give you an example. You are trying to figure out what school you want to send your child to, and you find out that your local public school is not a good school. But you need to be in this school community, or you need to be in this community because the rent is lower, you're saving up for a house, you're trying to make your dreams come true in the future, right? You find out the school is not a good school. Your first reaction, especially if you are, middle class or, working class, is to be like, I am just going to put my kid in the school, and then I'm going to create an environment where I can supplement that poor educational experience. Baby, listen, look at the brand new Tenicka Myrick. I'm not going to open her. I'm going to open another one. I have another one already open. That is going to be your first reaction. It's to supplement, right? You went to public schools. Look how bright that is. This is my problem in life. Overdoing the blush. You're going to be like, oh, I went to public schools. I turned out fine. I'm just going to get her or him some tutoring so we can figure out how to do this and how to do that. I'm going to touch your hand when I say this. Very gently now. Very gently. My hands are clean. You need to do every single thing possible within your capability and your budget to make your child as successful as possible. Everything. And that, when I tell you that costs so much money, that costs so much money, you just have no idea. Go for the best and don't just settle, right? But just imagine if you don't have the money to send your kid to a private school. And I'm not saying private school is the end all be all, but I'm saying private school costs. You want your child to know what it's like to be in Jamaica. That costs. You want your child to know what it's like to have a soft life. That costs. You want your child to know what it's like to be in premium economy or fly first class at 5 years old. That costs. You want your child to ride, these beautiful waves in these beautiful places, and to be in the Maldives, and to be in Bora Bora, and to be in Seychelles. That costs. You want your child to learn at the highest level, in the highest class in these United States. That costs. You want your child to eat some of the finest food. You want them to go out for caviar and sushi. That costs. You want your child to know how to play sports, basketball, ballet, gymnastics. You want your child to know how to swim. That costs. These things cost money. It costs for kids to breathe. Do you understand? Just for them to breathe. People are struggling just to pay basic daycare that doesn't even offer any educational advancement in any way, shape, or form that you really won't know about until your kid is in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade and you realize that early childhood education was trash that you were paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month for. $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month for one child. Kids cost a lot of money. You want to be a full, whole woman. You want to be a woman of the world. You want to travel with your friends. You still want to be the best you can be. You want to be in the best shape you possibly can. You still want to do your makeup and have skincare and all these things. It costs money. I could do a whole video on that. You want to have help? Money. You want to have nanny? Money. You want to have a night nurse so that you can actually get 6 to 7 hours of sleep every single night? Money. You want to take photos of your child? Money. You want to go to the best doctors and not just these basic doctors that they send you to that you think everything is okay with your child? Money. You want medical concierge services? That costs money. You want your child to ride in a safe car every single day? Money, 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 money. Sweetie, whatever you think the budget is, multiply that by 1,000. And I will tell you this, you will always feel like there is not enough money when you have a kid. You will always feel like that. Yes, I don't mean just for your kid to consume, because I see some of y'all out there, oh, we live in a consumer society. I'm not buying my kid this and that. Listen, I never bought my kid a whole bunch of Christmas presents, and she didn't have all those Dollar Tree Christmas presents up under my tree. Okay? She got about 6 or 7 items and a bunch of books, and this, like, So it's not just about consuming and making sure your kids have nice clothes and Jordans. And no, it's not necessarily about that. You want to create the best life for the best possible outcomes so that your kid can be the best adult that you really know how, or you want them to be within your wheelhouse, right? And I just cannot underscore enough how much money that costs. The amount of money. I will also say this. It starts on day one. It starts on day one. You want to heal in your home where there's 15 people in your apartment with people yelling and screaming, or you want to go to a new mother's facility where it's quiet and it's serene and they take the baby at night so you can sleep and they teach you how to, breastfeed and teach you how to feed the baby, and you want to, that costs money, lots of money, thousands of dollars. Baby, this thing costs money. It costs to live this life. Amen? It costs to live this life, my God. You must pay. You have to pay. And so you have to make sure you have this money. And I'm not saying that every mother has to live this like very luxury lifestyle, otherwise you won't enjoy it. Let me put some powder on my face. Child, let me put some powder on my face while I'm preaching to y'all. I'm not saying that every single mother should want to live this luxury lifestyle. I'm talking about like a solidly middle class life. But what I am saying is just imagine the things that you want. The kind of motherhood that you want to experience. The kind of parenting you want your child to have. And I just want you to think about how much that costs. Now, Kennedy didn't always cost this much, but I'll say that Kennedy costs at least $100,000 a year. At least. At least $100,000. And she's not even into clothes like that. She shops at Amazon, girl, and Shein, and she have a little Jaded London ASOS little shirt. She's not a luxury girl like that. Not like that. She wants to fly, first class, premium economy. Okay? Economy comfort across the states. Okay? She likes her ocean view. She is an ocean view girl. But I mean, not just the luxuries. Do you understand? I mean, even the basic necessities. The cost of milk. The cost of feeding these kids. The cost of school fees. I mean, just basic school fees. One day it's going to be $100. The next day it's going to be $200. They even have parents paying for books in a lot of these schools, for public schools. The cost of transportation, the cost of daycare, the cost of after school care, the cost of just like basic necessities for your kid. I don't even mean like the travel, right? I don't even mean like Disney once a year. I don't even mean going back home to see the grandma. I mean like basic. I mean Christmas, feeding these kids during Thanksgiving. They cost so much money. And I just really need y'all to sink y'all teeth into this. If you don't get anything else from this video, just know this. When it comes to kids, and something that nobody tells you about motherhood, money. Money, 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 money. If you want to be happy as a mother, you need money. If you want to be calm as a mother, you need money. If you want to be sane, you need money. If you want to feel like yourself, you need money. Whatever amount of money that is for you, you need to figure it out. I'm not talking about just luxuries and this, but you need to figure it out, because the last thing you want to do is bring a child into poverty knowingly. Anything can happen, but just make sure that you have the safety net to provide as comfortable of a life for your child as possible on your own. Listen to me, on your own, married or not. Because some of y'all think marriage is going to save y'all from all the ills of motherhood. You gonna bet your life on that for 18 years that man is gonna be as crazy or as non-crazy, insane, and lovely and financially secure for the duration of this child's entire childhood, and loving to you and kind to you and there for you and supportive of you and not cheating on you or not financially cheating on you, you gonna bet your life on that? Quickly now. If I were you, I would make sure I have the resources to provide at basic a comfortable life for you and your child. Yes. Now, I need to go to part 2 because I feel like this is so long. But I'm going to do part 2 on just like some of the things that people do not tell you about motherhood. If you like this kind of video, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you are a mom, please let me know in the comments, what are some of the things about motherhood that you wish more people talked about and they told you about? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. I would like to know. And if you're not a mother and you've heard it from your friends or some of the things you witnessed, I would love to know that from you as well. And I will see you in the very next video. The very next video, okay? Because I'm filming this whole video right now. See you. Bye.